This is an emergency broadcast of the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. This is not a drill. Remove any children and pets from your home and go to your nearest shelter. Remember to at all times listen to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. And whatever you do, do not under any circumstances trust what you see.
All right, nice. Connection's good. We're recording. Topher.
Yes, we're recording. Connection's good.
Right. Topher, how's it going?
It's going so well, Adam.
Yeah.
Welcome you and everyone else to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, where we uncover anomalies.
That's correct. Is this episode? Which episode is this?
I don't know. I still haven't edited the last episode, so
okay.
And I think I have to re-edit the first episode because there's some damning info in there about our last podcast where people can discover who we are because we're trying to keep it mysterious.
Well, yes, we don't want to be labeled domestic terrorists. You know how it is these days. Freedom of speech.
We don't want to get fined $1 billion for speaking.
Like PayPal, right?
Questioning the narrative.
Well, at least not now. But the thing is, we know what these people do. They go back into your past and start digging up stuff. So if in the rare case that we become big, that will happen. So yes, let's just protect ourselves.
And I'm pretty sure I have said the N-word, in my teens at one point. So there's that. I don't want to get canceled for that.
Well, you haven't on this podcast.
Of course we haven't. No, of course we haven't. We've never said anything even close to that bad. But we have questioned the narrative at several points.
Yes, for sure. Yes, that's right.
That's kind of our
so, all right. Well, this is not the first episode, but it's probably it's probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll say I really didn't like. I was listening to the recording of the last episode, quote unquote episode. I didn't like it. I always do this. I go, and it drives me nuts listening to myself talk.
I mean, that can be a little bit my fault because I did realize I was cutting you off a little bit, or like. No.
It's not your fault. It's me.
No, really.
I have no. It's something that I struggle with daily. Is I get a thought in my head, and then a thought overcrowds that thought, and so I'm trying to. I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to talk about two things at the same time, and I talk over myself. It's not fun to listen to.
Well, do you think that comes from maybe you fear forgetting that old idea when the new idea came in, or even like holding on to the new idea, something like that? I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's possible. It's definitely a psychology thing.
Well, cool. I mean, I guess what we could do is clearly state the date. That the date today is Sunday, October 16th, 2022. And we'll be discussing, I guess, things that happened last week. Yes. And, of course, our usual subject, our most important subject is UFOs.
Obviously the most important.
And what's the truth behind them and what's really going on with this thing. And I, like you, I think, keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Is this aliens? Is it interdimensional? Is it humans? But does that mean it's everything? Because I always go like, what if it is humans? Just really advanced, ancient ones that just been around for way too long.
So I came across, and I'm sure you know about this. It's called the USS. Was it Helen Coder? It's the giant spaceship that supposedly the U.S.
Oh yeah, they're called. It's called Operation Solar Warden.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And I am ashamed to admit that this is the first time. Well, I probably had heard about it and tucked it into some back corner of my brain that I did not access until just recently. Yeah. But that was one of the most interesting. And I went down the rabbit hole and I listened to the podcast and the YouTube channels about it, and it's a very interesting concept, and it's not all that far fetched, honestly.
It's not. Do you know where it stems from? The theory. So that's what I'm a little bit iffy on it.
Enlighten me.
So there's this. If you remember him, he was a British hacker. His name is Gary McKinnon, yes. And I think So did they mention that? Because that's where I think this comes from.
Right.
He found out about this. Yeah.
He's a very interesting character because he, quote unquote, this is fact, not conspiracy. He did hack several mainframes. I don't know exactly what I think he hacked
NASA.
It was something about the Department of Defense. I thought.
The Department of Energy, Department of the Navy, and then also NASA. But that's where he found the.
So okay. So I was going to say he saw all this stuff supposedly, quote unquote, and wasn't able to take a screenshot because he was so bewildered by what was going. No,
it was a dial-up connection, and he said what he was doing. Technically, with this what he was doing a remote machine. So he was he was taking over the machine on a dial-up network. Okay, so that's already slow enough. So because it would have to, if he was taking over the screen had to show up on his screen. And he said that was so slow. He said it went line by line, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, for those kids listening, dial-up was what basically the first internet. I mean, for me anyway, it was.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was. It's just
but
the beginning.
You had to like call the internet.
Yep. You had to call a number.
When it wasn't just you click on an image and it just is automatically on your thing. It loaded line by line.
Yep.
It was a very bizarre process.
It trickled. Like we used to make jokes, like no kidding. We used to make jokes saying we put in a search, we'll go down, have lunch, and come back, and the search will show up. Like that's how painstakingly slow it was. Yes. It was torture, man.
And the other thing, if you were in a house that only had one phone line, no one else could use the phone while you were on the internet.
Yes.
It was a very, very stupid, bizarre process.
Yeah.
That's so fun. We could go down a whole...
If you remember, we'd have to get a filter and have two lines so that wouldn't happen. You'd have a phone line and then the internet line.
Yeah. Oh, man. Those are the times.
So, yes, just going back to that. That's his excuse. And I don't think there was a print screen function. But now I recall when he was downloading the picture of the UFO is when he got caught because it started... downloading one by one, and he's like, it almost got finished, and then someone moved the mouse, and then disconnected the connection, and it was over.
I might be remembering wrong, but he didn't go to jail, right? Didn't he get a job out of this?
No, they've been after him for years. They almost extradited him, and there was a huge movement in the UK to stop the extradition because he's sick or something like really sick. But yeah, he ended up having. It ruined his life, obviously, but he never got sent to the U.S. Because he was. Don't
forget, kids. If you hack the U.S. government, you'll go to jail. But if you have sex with kids, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Right. Just don't mess with the national security state, right? And raping children is not messing with it. Actually, it keeps it afloat.
Yeah. Christ Almighty.
And keeps it. Yeah, it's all blackmail. We live in a blackmail economy.
I know. So we're. Adam said the date a little bit earlier. We're coming off the Alex Jones. He got fined close to $1 billion for what he was saying. And don't get me wrong. I want to state this at the top before we get into all this. Yeah. He's a piece of shit, and him harassing all of those people was wrong. But the fact that he got fined $1 billion.
Yeah.
For that is fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying, the banks that were responsible for the 2008 crash, right?
Just about to go into this, yeah.
Yeah, there's trillions of dollars. How much did they get fined again?
I think it was like 96 million.
Imagine.
It's a lot, but those people who literally crashed the economy and put us in the recession of 2008, they got fined less than Alex Jones did for questioning the narrative.
By 900 times.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane.
It is, and it's because those guys didn't go against the narrative or go against the whatever.
And I just want to restate all those people that had sex with kids on Epstein's Island that raped kids. No jail time, no fines,
nothing. Nope, because they're part of the system, and this guy goes against the system, and he does get it right many times, and this was wrong what he did, but they just took that. It was probably a psyop against him too. Or most, but he's also, I think, part of the system in a way. He's a gatekeeper. He says a lot of right things, man. He does. Okay, but he's still a gatekeeper. He doesn't go deep enough.
He's controlled.
Controlled op.
Yeah, controlled. Yeah, controlled opposition. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and a good example is when this social media censorship started, they used him. They deplatformed him everywhere. Then that was a precedent to deplatform everyone, including the president, right?
Yeah.
Of the United States, which never happened before. And then this might be the same thing, where they're using him as a precedent to go after any alternative media that goes against the narrative,
Yep, 100%. I totally agree.
And
it should be terrifying to anybody out there.
But it's crazy that the jurists are okay with this, and then not awarded him, but awarded the plaintiffs, is that what's called, the $900 million. I mean, that's just crazy. It really is.
The dumb thing is, and the way our legal system works, which makes no sense, is they're not gonna see any of that money. Alex Jones is not worth $1 million. He doesn't have that money to give, even if he sold all of his assets and shit.
Yeah.
The family, the plaintiffs, the families who are suing him, they're not going to get any. They'll see, I don't know, pennies compared to what he was fined. I'm just curious to know what his future is, because you can declare bankruptcy, right?
Which he has.
Yeah, and he's done that before. And then what do you do after that? I mean, it's not like is he going to stop making his show?
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him so bankrupt that he won't even be able to relaunch anything. But that's okay. Let's just say they do. Let's say InfoWars is gone, right? They liquidated it. They sold everything out. How are they going to stop him? Like, seriously,
right?
Look at us. We're on
I was literally. That's so funny. I was just about to say this. You and I don't have a billion. We don't have $1 million between us. We're making a show.
Yeah. Exactly.
We don't have the FBI at our door, with guns at our head, knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
No,
but
we are pro-American. There's no reason.
No one's stopping us from doing this, and I guess no one's stopping him from doing that. That's
and his followers, his supporters will just go to wherever he goes. They might, and he can make his own. I mean, he already has his own system in a way, but he's already blocked from everything. He can't. I'm surprised he has a store. Who's doing the credit card? Who's the credit card merchant? It's not
PayPal.
No, definitely not PayPal. they would have made the billions out of him with every incident, $2,500, right? I think he has an incident every 10 minutes.
Yeah, he has a misinformation every 10 minutes.
So yeah, I mean, we talked about PayPal, right? And that $2,500.
We did last week, yeah.
Oh, okay, that was the last week thing, huh?
Yeah, we could talk about it again if this is going to be episode 2, which I'm kind of on board with.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I guess like a week or 2 old story at this point.
That's fine. I mean, it's still current because there was pushback, right? There was huge pushback. They lost $6 billion in a day. And then people couldn't actually, you couldn't close your account at one point. They got rid of that because, there was a backlash that people didn't want to be charged $2,500 for sharing misinformation on any platform.
Such horseshit.
Dude, it's crazy how the internet went from being so free to this.
It's so frustrating to me that people are so okay with companies deciding what is information and what is misinformation. That's such a one of the biggest news pieces that I read this week was that the COVID vaccine was not tested on humans to see if it prevented the transmission of COVID between people. And this is something that quote unquote conspiracy theorists were saying like 2-3 years ago at this point.
And they were deplatformed for it, for sharing misinformation.
Right. Exactly. It was called misinformation. And then, oh, wait, no, hold on. Turns out they're right. Oh, no, wait, hold on. The science changed. And it's such a slippery slope that we let people in charge decide what is true and what's false. It's terrifying to me.
It is. If you remember, the Department of Homeland Security wanted to set up a board, and then Americans made fun of it and called it the Ministry of Truth.
Because that's what it was. That's absolutely what it was. Yeah.
But again,
and people, I guess, I don't know, online is dominated by young people, so they don't remember 9/11, where we were being told that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. They have nukes, and all this shit. We went in there and we took down what's his name?
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, it's been so long that now we've been in the Middle East for 20 years. I mean, it's
we lost trillions of dollars, and for what? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
We know
they never did find weapons of mass destruction, by the way. If you're listening to this in 2040.
No, they didn't.
It was all. I just can't believe we went from, okay, the government lies to you and that's accepted, to, okay, we have to believe the government no matter what they tell us. It's insane. It's insane to me. And it's insane to me that when I was growing up, the right conservative Republican wing was the wing of love the government, love the military, yada yada yada, and now it's completely flipped, and now it's the left side.
Yeah, and they play, whoever's in charge has both, and they play each side like a fiddle,
Yep.
And they know to play for the right, it has to be like something like Armageddon or something biblical. So they put Muslims against Christians, right? That's what the narrative was. So they'll get on board for that because their churches will be talking about it and how Islam is the devil. And so that's how they got on board. But then they realized that, because first of all, the Patriots are the ones that go to war. Their kids will go, and they're badasses, war machines, and they are. Mm-hmm. But they realized they were going to these things, and, these like Iraq and whatever, these people are not that bad. They got confused. What are we doing there? And then what happened? They start killing themselves every single day. They come home. They're not supported by the government, so they're homeless. They have PTSD. They're taking opioids and they're dying. So, the conservatives became anti-war, and unfortunately, it took Trump to ride that wave. He knew about this sentiment, or Bannon did, because Bannon is a Tea Party guy, or he knew about the Tea Party, which, took over or tried to take over the GOP after Ron Paul's 2 failed attempts at being president. But that ideology of being anti-war, pro-peace, pro-free trade, those ideals came into the party, and then Trump took it over, and still, I don't know how, still also made it about, Christianity. Now this guy was the Messiah, and like, oh God, it's so crazy how they play these games on all of us.
I know we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked.
Sorry.
I have this.
Sorry, I was going with this right now. For the left, what they did was they used the medical industrial complex to bring the left on board, but all that both got on board with is bigger government, more war. It's
so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I both were around for 9/11,
mm-hmm.
and just to see this cycle, it's not really, starting over, but it's just you can kind of see the pieces fall where they lay. It's just you find an excuse to get the war machine going over and over and over again.
Unbelievable.
And it's never going to end.
It won't, unless people just wake up. I mean, I can't believe that Eisenhower, right, in his famous speech on the military industrial complex, he warned the American people. How didn't that stay in their heads? I mean, it has for some, but for most, it's like,
Well, because we're subject to media in all forms 24/7,
Right.
Like, try and live a day 24 hours without looking at a screen, and you can't.
No,
you absolutely can't, unless you live out in the forest or out in the middle of nowhere, which is my dream, by the way. I'd love to do that.
Me too, but I think my livelihood is made online. I mean, but yeah, so even if I was there and I'd start living on the land, and which I would take advantage of that, right? And I would have, I'd probably have chickens, so I can have eggs. I'd have goats, so I can have cheese and milk and whatever. That's pretty easy, right, to be so self-sustainable. But then, I'd still have to make income, and that would still be online.
Right.
I'd probably have a Starlink.
And see, and therein lies the problem: is they have made our lives. We can't live off the grid. The grid. You physically can't.
Mm-hmm. Unless yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, because exactly what you said. I mean, you have to make a living. We're working to live, unfortunately. It's a very sad point we've gotten to in this thing that we call civilization. and we're slaves.
We are slaves. And going to that, I sent you a podcast about the new California state. Were you able to listen to that? He's really good.
So you sent me the website. This is the thing I was texting you about last night. I was saying they need to have a better UI person on their staff.
Agreed. Yeah, it's not that great of a website.
The website looks like it's from the early 2000s.
Well, here's the background of it.
Yeah. Give me the rundown.
So the rundown is basically a lot of this population in California do not feel represented, and they don't feel the state is catering to their needs and wants. So it's in the Constitution. Now I forget which, was it the 10th Amendment, or it's one of them that's in there, and it does give the right for new states to emerge within states. And this happened before with West Virginia. But there are three questions you have to ask yourself, and that'll give you a reason to do this. And one of them is, do you feel represented? And if there's a no, then that's one. Then are you free from invasion? That's what this guy was saying. And basically that our border is completely open. We're not free from invasion. And then I forget what the third one is, but this government in Sacramento goes against all three for this certain population. We're talking about 58 counties, around 200,000 people already are on board with this. With 58 counties, is probably more people than that if they wake up to it. And that they want to do what West Virginia did in the Civil War, was it? I forget when it was done. So that's what they're trying. Right. It's a movement, and they're confident that they can get it done because there's so many of us that just want a free California state. And he said that this is a slavery, that this is new slavery, like what Californians are under. With all these laws.
So my response to that is the same as what it was last night yesterday.
Yeah.
When you sent that to me is that we, the voters, have no agency. Yeah. We're subject to whatever the legislature says.
True.
And so even if there is a vast number of us, they're going to rig the game against us, so we can't. I mean, seriously, anytime someone says, "Oh, the solution to your problems is to vote for who you want," I mean, that's a goddamn lie.
Vote harder.
Yeah, and you can't just, like, let's say I want to leave California or just the federal government in general. I can't put a border up against the door of my apartment.
Well, you can't leave the federal government. Apparently, the agreement with the states is that you're in that system forever. That's what this guy was saying too. So what you could do, you can only create a state within a state. So it'll be like this, new state of California, or South California, or whatever.
Okay, let's say California's got a ton of people. Let's say there's 500,000 people that agree to this.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to put up a border? Like, they're going to put up a wall along?
No wall. Just like how we have with different states now. Just fake borders.
Right. Yeah, but I'm just saying. I think the federal government, or even the state government, I think they'd bring in the
National Guard.
National Guard, yes, and they would shut that down real quick, just
unless
like they did legally.
But you're right, man. They're not gonna make it easy. You're right.
What was it a few years ago in Oregon? The people who were probably a terrible example. I honestly don't know much about that.
I mean, those guys. I forget what it was now, but no, that was different. These guys are trying to go the legal route. Those guys went the gun route.
Yes, yeah. but okay. I'm just saying. So. The gun route didn't work. I don't think the legal route is gonna get anywhere.
I think it's worth a try. But in what we are today, in the state of the country now, where it's just all collapsing, I think it's the least of their problems. Where, because I don't know, but there's a lot of complaints, right? We had just had the legislator here in California just passed one about doctors not being able to question the official narrative. I mean, what the hell is that? It's just forced down our throats.
But see, this is what I'm talking about. Is the Constitution, all of our rights, they don't matter until they affect someone who's important. So that's a First Amendment right?
Yeah.
Questioning the narrative, I'd argue that's a First Amendment right, and they've stripped that from doctors, and.
So dangerous, man.
We're not up in arms as we should be. No one's really fighting that as we should be. and that just goes to show that they can just kind of do whatever they want, and it's not going to change. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because when the mandates came out, we were loud and we were protesting, and they stopped.
Yep.
You know, as long as you let them get away with this shit, they're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember how big it was against mandates and school mandates. They were loud, and it's because of moms, I think. But I went to these events, and they were huge, and there was music, and it was just, I think if you're a politician on the other side and you see this, you just back away. That's it, and wait for the right moment to come.
Yep.
Jordan Peterson, he has a great clip about that. He was on. I mean, he's not great for a specific reason for me, but I still like 90% of what he says. But he was on Joe Rogan, and he basically said this, and he said that they'll keep pushing you until you protest, and then they stop, and then you calm down, and they push again until you protest, and then they stop, and then you calm down, and then they push again, and then and then like 2 years into it, you're like so far from what you were, you can't do anything about it, and they've been doing that since, I would say, forever, with the Federal Reserve Act, the National Security Act, and they're slowly just doing this. 9/11, COVID.
I was just going to bring up 9/11 and the Patriot Act, which is just a huge violation on rights. Mm-hmm. And if you remember when Obama got elected, they were talking about repealing that and giving back. And what they did was the complete opposite. They extended it.
The right just started calling him. What did they call him?
Obama got a
Muslim
Nobel
Brotherhood.
Peace
They started
Prize.
seeing the secret Muslim in the White House, and that's why he wants to do this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
I remember that. I remember all of that pretty well. I remember he got a Nobel Peace Prize right after he got elected, and then he immediately started bombing.
He's the drone king.
Those poor families in the Middle East.
Pakistan, there was bomb weddings and funerals, just to get one guy, but they killed like 50 people.
Yeah, it's just absolute. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, the right and the left. Sorry, when I say the right and the left, I mean Republicans and Democrats. They work for the same side.
Yeah,
and the side is horrible.
It is horrible. They do have the same ideology, those in charge, and it's obvious because it's always there, and people get in trouble for it. So let's speak about that. So, Mr. Kanye West.
Man, my favorite rapper, and I'm totally kidding. I don't even listen to rap.
Yeah, me neither.
He is something else.
I know.
But yeah, the fact that I won't say the name. You can speak out against any group on the planet except for one, and then you get banned from everything.
Yes, everything. And he's not like if he doesn't have fuck you money, who does? He's worth $6.6 billion, right? It's not like it's nothing. But banks shut him down. Everyone shut him down. I don't think he's going on some shows, but they're canceling him. And
again, it's terrifying. The fact that free speech, our First Amendment, it doesn't exist.
No,
it really doesn't.
Yeah, and because they own everything, it really does go back to the Federal Reserve Act. It goes back all the way to that. If you can just print money and get a percentage of it for printing it out of nothing, for doing nothing, obviously you just buy up the entire system. It might take 100 years, which it has, but they've privatized everything, especially here.
Yeah, man. So, it's such a I don't know, it's like scary prospect. Like I think about like 20, 30, 50 years down the road, and I'm really scared as to what's to come.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
because you have to conform, you have to be within the lines.
I mean, there is a parallel economy trying to be built, but these are from those Gap folks, so it's mostly Christian nationalism though. That's doing this, and they are building a parallel economy, like their own payment systems, their own social media. But what does that do? I think that just creates more of an environment for a civil war.
Well, not only that, but they're creating something that if you speak out against it, it's just more authoritarianism. Because I guarantee you, if you go to that platform or whatever it is down the road,
Christ.
Yeah, exactly. You get banned, and that's such a horseshit ideology.
Yeah,
not Christianity, just the whole ban you if you speak out against whatever we're preaching.
Absolutely. I mean, why can't we just go back to the foundings of this country? Like, even if you wanted to rewrite the Constitution and you look at it, what would you rewrite?
Yeah, it's just
in there you would rewrite. I'm not saying it's some holy document, but the founders were they knew what was going on. They went through the same shit we're going through. They knew what tyranny was. They were trying to keep tyranny away from coming back. I think they did a great job. Yes, we are still kind of under tyranny, but don't you think our system saved us from like COVID in a way? Our court systems and systems of government and different states having autonomy, and that really saved us. Just the way everything's set up.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's what me and you and I feel like I want to say most people, but I don't even know if that's true anymore. It's just live and let live. Do what you want to do as long as it doesn't infringe on my, property or person. Fine.
Yeah. But no, that's white supremacy now. So property rights are white supremacy.
I know.
It's white supremacy.
I'm trying to figure out what the end game is for all of that.
Get rid of the Constitution. That's what they want.
No. Well, sure, but like, and then what?
Oh, then they can have their tyranny, their communist, whatever techno-communist tyranny, with people just conforming and playing video games. I don't know, man. I really don't know. How far can my imagination go, especially if they're so ahead, and I really don't know what the actual goal is. But it could be also to just retain power, and that's the only way to retain power.
Is to preach that ideology.
Yeah, because then always look at China. Whoever took over China and made it communist have been in charge since then, and now it is a techno tyranny, biosecurity state. It's a nightmare.
And the social, what's it called? Social credit
the social credit system.
Yeah, that shit's terrifying, and that's what cancel culture is.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. If banks are looking at that is a social credit system.
That's what PayPal's doing essentially. I mean, it's terrifying.
And you have our Western leaders who just love that system. Did we talk about Jacinda? What's her name? Arler, from New Zealand. Ardern. Jacinda
the Kiwi. I don't believe we've talked about that yet, but yes. Go ahead.
She went to the UN, and she gave a speech.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt right off the top, but isn't she a member of WEF?
She is. She was part of their WEF, the Young WEF whatever program, and she was a star of it. A young
leader.
And she was huge with COVID, and she was really bad against unvaccinated. She used to say the most disgusting shit, and she would say, "Yes, we are creating a two-tier system, and if you're not vaccinated, then you're out. You deserve starving to death and going sick and not getting medical attention." She loved it. She used to say this with smiles, and then but she lost, right? The other side won. The conspiracy theorists won because the information got out there. Most people woke up. They stopped taking the vaccine.
Racist right-wingers.
They started protesting the mandates. So she goes to the UN. This was probably a couple of weeks ago. And she gives this speech, which the WEF probably wrote, or, at least the leaders of the WEF probably loved. And she said that we need to treat misinformation and disinformation like we treat nuclear weapons or weapons of war. And that's how we need, because that's our problem now in this world, right? Is we need to fight misinformation.
Christ Almighty!
I know, dude. That's because they lost.
Let's let the government decide what's good and bad. That's always worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck's sake.
They love us.
Yeah, everything the government does is in our best interest. That's for you, FBI people who are listening to this podcast.
Well, at least their AI bot is listening. I mean, if we are saying some words, so it might go into some database for someone to listen to.
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like we're all of us, whether or not you have a podcast, your thoughts and words, all of it's downloaded into some server someplace in Nevada.
Unless you do have encryption, which we use Signal and has encryption end to end.
Is this our first sponsor read?
Would that be cool, huh?
Hey, NordVPN, don't let the FBI listen to you.
Oh, speaking about that, did you hear about what Elon Musk did?
Yeah, he said he was going to. So that was I was entertained by that.
Yeah.
So I still have to set up my Twitter, by the way. But basically, an ambassador. So he said he was going to stop providing Starlink to Ukraine because
but why?
Because no one was paying for it, and he was basically doing it out of his pocket. And he was asking the government to, hey, you guys, you need to start paying us, or we're going to pull out. And then the ambassador from Ukraine said, "Fuck you," and so he's just like, "Okay,
he told him, fuck off."
Yeah, fuck off. And then he goes, "We're done." Okay, we're done.
And now he's back though.
Is he? I didn't see that part.
Yeah, he bent.
I thought so. Someone paid him.
Something happened, but he's back.
I didn't. I have
that
not
just happened yesterday.
This weekend.
Yeah, that happened yesterday. On
Twitter. Really? So, that's kind of. I wanted to see him put his balls where his mouth is.
Yeah, exactly. No, it didn't last very long at all. And they also put him on a kill list. The Ukrainians. You know how they have that kill list? It only lasts 15 minutes or something. But they still put him on there.
Man, oh man!
Could you imagine any other country putting Western journalists and people on kill lists? Like, just because it's Ukraine, they can get away with it. It's like Israel. It's like, is it the same people running that place? It's just weird how they can do whatever they want, get how much money they want from us.
Well, wasn't the whole thing is the CIA staged a coup was it 2014 and got rid of the Ukrainian president, or I don't even know what their prime minister. I don't even know what their system of government is.
Yeah,
but we put our own people there.
Yeah, we did, and it's been a proxy war since then, and we're going after anyway. I don't want to talk about this. It's a very complicated subject. So
yes, it is.
I also saw.
Hey, here's a less complicated subject: Israel and Palestine. Let's talk about that.
Kidding. Oh man, that is funny though. There was someone who asked on Twitter. It's on my other account, not our podcast account, but he asked, something about Israel and Palestine, or who was behind it, or something like that. Anyway, so for me, one of my grandfathers, he was the last mayor of a certain Palestinian village. So he always said that it was the Freemasons that did this, that convinced the West convinced United States and Britain to go and create Israel. And he actually joined the Freemasons for that reason, but he wanted to take it back for the Arabs. I mean, that was very naive, obviously, but he joined Freemasons and became a 33rd degree Freemason, very high up there. And then he learned, obviously, that that's not going to happen. But he knew, and I guess people like him knew, people at the top of the political structure in Palestine knew that Freemasonry created that state of Israel. And it makes sense because Freemasonry started in England or Britain. So that was the empire before. Freemasonry created this country, right? All the founding fathers were Freemasons, and this became the new empire. And it's not a coincidence that both of them support that state. Yeah. It's also part of their ideology. Zionism, in a way, is part of Freemasonry because they talk about Solomon's temple and how it was built. So it's one of the first lessons in Freemasonry, actually, is that temple. So just naturally, they're going to support a country that's there, that wants to create the temple again, recreate it, and that's the third temple.
So I need you to know I was joking when I said let's talk about that.
I know, I really know, but it was coincidence I brought that up today to someone. That's why. Anyway, I didn't bring up the village, so I'm not doxing myself.
But it is a very, Jesus Christ, it's a sad state of affairs everywhere in this world, except for, well, no, it's bad here too.
But we're less bad because we have this system of government that keeps tyranny at bay.
And at least we can talk about it. There's countries,
just for now,
China, where you can't talk about how bad the government is.
No, do you remember during COVID when they had these really famous streamers in Germany and Australia, just talking about the COVID agenda? Cops would be at their door knocking in the middle of the live stream,
and they'd disappear.
Yeah, man. Crazy. I wonder what happened to them if they were,
Oh, they're dead. They're 6 feet deep. Probably not even 6 feet. Probably like a foot and a half.
Yeah, and they were beating people up, and people in the meme would say "for your health." They're just bashing people over the head with the batons.
Do you remember like the right before COVID, like all the stuff that was happening in Hong Kong? Yeah. And then have you heard anything out of Hong Kong recently? No,
nothing.
Of course not.
It was a revolt. It was a CIA one, funded and supported. But yeah, then COVID happened. Then it was normal to do that to people.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, people obviously aren't okay with it. That's why there's protests and shit. Right. I just can't believe we went from protesting the government to, oh, please, daddy government, give me those vaccines. Like within I feel like it was within a day. We just turned around so fast.
Yeah, and then switch over to Ukraine. So those same people that were for the vaccines and for mandates all of a sudden said, oh, we need to give all our money, print as much money as we can. Who cares about inflation? For Ukraine.
So fucking frustrating. Like there's just no one thinks about foresight. No one has any foresight. No one thinks about the future.
No, dude, they don't. They're not self-aware. They have no idea. It's like they're not even here. It's like there's that meme that they are NPCs, right?
Yeah, I was just about to. That's so funny. I was just about to say sheep, but NPCs is a really. I know the meme you're talking about, and I think it's the reason that whole thing caught on is because it's 100% accurate.
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you can see in people's profiles what they're about and what they're going to say on, in their statements. And people love putting their pronouns. They love putting the Ukrainian flag. You see that?
Yeah. This is the whole reason I've been so hesitant to get back on Twitter.
I know.
It's because it's 90% of that shit. So I was reading a book recently. Mm-hmm. And it's completely unrelated to anything that's relevant today. But basically, there's a character that says that 80% are just followers. They'll do whatever you tell them to do. 10% are villains, essentially, that they want to cause evil as much as possible. And 10% are trying to. I mean, they're Batman. They're the good guy. They're they're trying to make things right. And I kind of I read over it, I didn't really think much of it because it's not a huge part of the story, but I kind of think that's super accurate.
Yeah, I believe that too. Well, if those 10% become active, it works. I think it was 5 to 10% that created the revolution. Revolution, right? It was like 5 to 10%. So I think that's accurate. And then it's whoever's more vocal in those different 10%.
Yeah.
And then the 80% will empower either side. They just have to be convinced of which side is better. But of course, the bad side is not going to say they're bad. They're going to say it's all for you. It's all for good.
Right.
Like global warming.
That's what truthfully, I mean, that's what evil really is. It's not a mustache twirling, like top hatted guy standing in the corner. Yeah, it's the people. It's the government, but it's it's people that trying to convince you that they're the good guys. And they're not.
I mean, they use the government. I mean, I think
absolutely.
Our government's just too big. If it wasn't this big, it wouldn't have been a problem. And the Constitution was supposed to keep it small and limited. But we're in emergencies, and that's the hack. That is the hack that they found. We're still in an emergency from 9/11. It keeps getting signed because if it wasn't signed, everything the government's doing would be illegal. We're still in a COVID emergency. Our governor still has emergency powers. Yeah. He's a dictator. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and just to highlight that, it's been 21.
Yeah.
21 years since 9/11 happened, and they're still doing this shit. And people don't bat an eye. It's insane to me.
Tens of millions of people have been killed and displaced. What's the mass migration that everyone's talking about that goes to Europe and here?
Countries have been overthrown.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. It's not what do those migrants have anything to do with it? I mean, I would hate it too if I was English or French and I see this many people coming in and just changing the demographics and changing the culture, and of course they're going to be pissed. But what choices do they have?
So you're racist then?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm racist because I see their part. Right. Their perspective makes me racist.
Yeah.
But
it's just such an unbelievable amount of horse shit. It's so fucking frustrating. So recently, so the what's the Under the Sea movie? Ariel.
Yeah. Mermaid, My Little Mermaid.
I don't think it's My Little Mermaid, but
sorry, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I was
My Little Pony. That's why.
Yeah, I should
It
point
is
out
Little Mermaid. It is Little Mermaid. Sorry, go ahead.
I was on Reddit and I came across a thread that was very funny to me because apparently they have remade or are remaking Scooby-Doo. Remember Scooby-Doo?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And they have diversified the characters of Scooby-Doo. And I came across this huge thread where it was saying, so they made Shaggy black.
What?
That was the thing.
I thought, and what's your name's gay now?
Velma.
Yeah.
I know all my Scooby-Doo characters. Anyway, the thread, the people who were commenting were going like, "Oh my god, and this is in like a very liberal leftist subreddit," and they were going, "Oh my god, I can't believe they've done this. Like why can't they make their own thing? This is such bullshit." And inside of me, I was just going like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like you did this with the My Little Mermaid and everything that's being remade. It's always like Lord of the Rings, for instance, not remade, but like new casting,
rehash, or
yeah. It's just, how do you not see that this is what we've been talking about this whole time? Like, how can you get upset about Scooby-Doo and have been preaching for the whole diversify thing for every other show that's been remade or rehashed this whole time?
It's rewriting history. It's changing the culture through mainstream media, right? It's 1984. It's just like they're taking down statues, they're changing names of schools, they're changing names of whatever. They're also changing historical shows.
It's the most frustrating thing to me.
Me too, dude. I'm with you, and it's not like I'm 100% white at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I see through it, and it's messed up. It's messed up, and there is an agenda against white people and against their culture, and it's just disgusting and very worrisome for me.
It's just a weird concept that we have to erase the past.
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all. I really don't.
Yeah, it's Marxism. Marxists are the ideology. That's what they do. Because then, they want to get rid of truth and objective truth. That's the real purpose. If you get rid of objective truth and you convince people that it's all subjective, and then you can really get away with anything. Because then it's your truth, right? So if I'm into kids and whatever, that's subjectively evil. It might be that might be evil to you, but it's not to me. Because they even changed the name of pedophiles. So like, what is it?
I know, MAPS.
Yeah,
minor attracted persons or whatever the fuck it is. Those fucking pieces of shit.
My God,
but again, so I'm trying to think of the end game here, and so the end game is what? So the top 1% can fuck kids and eat. I don't even know.
Maybe get away with it at least. I think maybe in the near future they just want to get away with it because under the law they can all be persecuted and sent to jail, every single one of them. So if you are afraid of that, wouldn't you want to change the culture, which would then change the law, which would then free you from any persecution on that point?
But they already get away with it.
I think for now, because when shit really goes down and you're trying to rebuild the country and you're trying to find out where the problem is, where I'm talking about when it's really bad, right? People try to figure out, okay, what went wrong here? How can we fix this? What can we do? What do the people want to see? I think that's when they start going to the people who will say, we want to see these people in jail. And the law is still there. But I guess in a collapse, what does it all mean? I don't know, man. It's, I guess, beyond my paycheck, is what they say.
On a completely different note, I'm steering the conversation in a different direction.
Good.
I have read a trilogy of books that I think you would really like.
Mm-hmm.
The trilogy is called the if I'm remembering this right, it's called The Remembrance of Earth. The first book is called The Three-Body Problem. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's from a Chinese author.
Okay.
It's obviously translated.
Science
Chinese.
Fiction?
Yes,
Okay.
It's science fiction, but basically it's a series of 3 books, and the whole premise is aliens from the nearest star have contacted Earth and said they're on their way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how much. It's the reaction that humans would have to that message, kind of. That's what the first book is, anyway.
Okay, from a Chinese perspective too, right?
Yes, I highly recommend it. I don't mean to say this in a reactionary way, but this is the truth. It is one of the most life-changing books I've ever read.
Wow.
The trilogy. It's very, very interesting, and I highly recommend it. So look up The Three-Body Problem, read the inscription on the back, or listen to it on Audible like I did. But you'll like it. But don't get me wrong, it's very world building. So there's a lot of description stuff that's going on. But it's absolutely fascinating. Absolutely.
When I looked up the three-body problem, it's a physics thing.
Yes.
Problem of taking the initial positions and velocities of 3-point masses and solving for their subsequent motion according to Newton's law of motion.
Yeah. So that's a whole part of. Well, I mean, I guess the first book, kind of the. Anyway, just look it up, listen to it, or read it. It goes into, so we're always talking about aliens and UFOs and stuff. That's a really cool take on it. Kind of like, well, not kind of like, but you remember I recommended Nope, and I said that's a very unique take on UFOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very unique take on aliens. Oh, what are you showing me now?
Wait, I need to show you this one. Wait.
I saw this. Did
you see this one?
Yes, I did. I don't think it's real, specifically because of the plane that goes by it.
No, but look. This what got me is how it turns with the sun. I mean, that is not. You can't do this with CGI. Watch right here. Because you know where the sun is, right? It's on the right there.
Yeah. No. Okay. So
see right here.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Dude.
So, because this is not a.
Easy. That's not. I mean, talk about that's thousands of hours.
It's a balloon. It's a.
How you there's so a dome on top.
People, you're listening. Hopefully.
Look. See that? There's a cube on top. How's that balloon?
They can't see that. Okay, so people who are listening, Adam is showing me a video of a UFO that's in the sky. It looks like there goes the plane. It looks like a hat, like a
classic
UFO.
Yeah.
And it's in the sky. A plane flies behind it, and it's turning and it reflects the sun. Very impressive. I still think it's a balloon.
It might be. But the way, I mean, it looks massive, doesn't it? Well, we don't know how far it is. The guy said it's like 3,000 feet or something like that.
Well, anyone can say anything online.
No, I mean, the guy taking the video.
Yeah, he can say anything he wants.
What other ones came out? This was definitely fake. This one's so fake. The ones that are blatantly fake, and ones that,
like I had a. Okay, so you sent me the link to the South America
yes,
UFO. Did you find anything about the one that's been memory hold?
Oh no, I haven't. I thought that's what he was talking about, but it's not that one.
No,
he was talking about a different incident.
So listeners, we talked about this last week on an episode that probably won't air because I could not speak. And anyway, I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe, boy, it's like I feel like it was right at the beginning of COVID. There was this huge UFO sighting in Brazil. I think it was Brazil.
Yeah, it was Brazil.
And there were helicopters and planes chasing it, and then it completely disappeared off of the internet. Like, you can't Google it anymore.
Sorry.
Jimmy Fallon looks really stupid with a beard.
He does. So he had Camila Cabello. She's a singer on. And
she should get a smaller dress, 100%.
And she went on vacation with her parents in South America. And she took this video and didn't notice because really fast UFOs went by. There it is. You see them? So they've slowed it down. Have you seen that spot?
Yeah, no, I see it. Go back.
And it goes behind the mountain. Wait, it goes behind the mountain.
No, hold on. Go back.
It's not a bird. It's not a bot. Wait. I think they go through it again. He even took a picture. Forget the picture. But it's just, and it's the mainstream, which is annoying. All she says there's two. You want to see? You want to hear? Maybe I should send this to you so you can see her reasoning. But she said she was a skeptic. She's saying the aliens trust her because she's a skeptic. But obviously she's just on TV. Whoa, that's fast.
No, that's a bug.
Watch. Why would it go behind the mountain, though?
I don't know if it went behind the mountain.
Here, look. They're going to slow it down. There it goes. Right behind the mountain, dude.
No, it goes into the... Oh, man, this is...
No, look at it.
This is such shitty podcast material.
There it is.
We're watching a video...
Fine. Okay, let's stop.
No.
It will improve our podcast.
Go back.
We'll get there.
No, I'm interested.
Oh, okay.
When you say go behind the mountain, I don't. Okay.
Wait, I'm pausing it.
Right.
Paused it.
Okay. Go again.
Paused it. Now it's right here, right? Look at it. Look where it is.
Okay, but I can't zoom in on my laptop.
I don't think I can zoom in. Wait, if I press something, can I zoom?
I'm just saying there. So on mountains there are trees, right?
And it's gone.
Look like. Well, it just. Fuck. All right. So here's what I'm saying. If it's a bug, hypothetically, if it's a bug, and if you're not gonna be able to see it from far away because it's a bug, it's tiny.
That's true.
And you can say it goes, quote unquote, behind the mountain, but you're not. If it just goes far away, you're not able to see it.
But it just disappears. Like, why would it just disappear then? You know what I mean? But yeah,
now I'm gonna send you a video.
Oh man.
Sorry, listeners. This is the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. This is what you're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, we're trying to uncover anomalies here, aren't we? Now, remember the ex-Minister of Defense of Canada?
Hellier.
Yeah. So there was a great article that came out recently about him.
Oh, really?
I love hearing about, confirm, stop sharing. I love reading or rehashes of what he used to say, because I used to listen to every single interview he did, every single speech he did, and it's just fascinating to hear an ex-Minister of Defense of a Five Eye country saying the stuff he did, and blaming the U.S. or whoever that they're in war with aliens and they're not telling us, and they're shooting them down and blah blah blah.
They're not shooting anything down.
Well, you need to look at the NASA videos, which were not released. Those NASA videos that got released in the 90s were NASA feeds that this satellite operator had access to, and he recorded these and released them. There's definitely proof that we're shooting at something that's in space. Definitely.
This is going back to the USS Helen Coder, whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay. Well, there's a bunch of so US, not US. I mean, is it US? No, SS. When it's NASA, it's SS something like SS 200, SS 150. Those are no. These ships are being shot from land. Like there's that one that's really famous. It shows Earth. The astronauts are orbiting Earth. The cameras showing Earth. They have UV cameras, so these objects are not visible to human eyes. These are UV cameras, and it gets close. You see this object getting closer to the Earth, really slow. You see this flash, right? and then it sees that flash and it goes away. Then all of a sudden you see this projectile go boom, and it misses it. That's a very famous video. Have you seen it?
Probably. Go ahead and send that to me.
Well, I have DVDs on those ones. I have a whole DVD about all those videos that this guy captured and then released.
What's the ship called?
There's no. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That USS Helen Keller or something. But yeah, it's not that though. These videos are different.
Sorry, I'm on Google and I cannot.
Google.
I was trying to come up with the video I was talking about where it looks like a UFO, but I'm pretty sure it's a bug that flies. It looks like it, quote unquote, flies behind a mountain. And
it comes from the mountain. That one, the drone one.
Yeah, I think it's the drone one. Yeah.
No, there's been so many studies. I mean, there are people say it's bugs, but there's better studies that show it's not. It can't be bugs. I mean, people have gone really deep.
It's the same type of. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. Type of video where I don't know. It could be. It could not be. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I definitely know what you're saying. Well, I mean, there's always every week something coming out with videos and stuff. And this one, that one he thought was a balloon wasn't very, at least it wasn't blurry, right? It was clear.
Yeah.
It still acted like a balloon, but if you have artificial gravity around you, it doesn't matter.
Oh, wait.
What?
There was something I was going to show you that I saw on Reddit. Hold on. I think I have it saved. It's a very, very compelling. I could be fucking this up. It was very interesting to me, is what I'm trying to say. And it hadn't been disproved as far as I can tell. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna cut this out. This.
Well, we are over an hour.
I know. We gotta.
But you're gonna cut out some stuff anyway.
Yeah, I feel like this has been a very good shit.
Good
Did I not save it? Oh, fuck. Hold on. Fuck.
What is it?
It's a video of a UFO, and not like it's someone who caught it on their what's it called, like a door cam.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, have I seen that one? The door cam one. That sounds familiar.
Top. I want to search.
Is that the one with the big shadow or something that goes over the street?
Yeah, maybe that's the one. Fuck me. I can always find it on my phone. Anyway, I thought it was a very cool video. I thought I had it saved, but I guess I don't.
No problemo. Oh, nice. Looks like we already got 2 followers on Twitter.
Already, huh?
It takes time. Shit. It takes time. Don't worry. We'll build it up. How are we doing on Spotify? Does it let me know how many people are listening? I mean, to be honest, we're a week old.
Seriously, I'm cutting all of this. Why can't I find this video?
Yeah, just cut out the last 5 minutes, I guess.
Yeah. No, well, anyway, it's a very cool video of a UFO that flies over. Yeah, it's someone's backyard. I mean, I don't know if it's a backyard, it might be a front yard, but basically there's a UFO that flies over the street. Anyway, fuck a duck. All right, well, I can't find that. Maybe it got deleted. Anyway,
that happens.
How do I there we go. Man, I thought I was tech savvy, but I am not. I'll send you this video. Is there anything else in the last 10 seconds we have here that you want to talk about?
Did you hear about the HBO documentary about Pelosi on January 6th?
Well, yes and no. She had a camera crew.
Yeah.
Someone was filming her like it was planned or something.
Yeah, absolutely. No one is screaming. No one's shouting. No one's anything. It's just a complete movie.
What's his name? The comedian that I do like him, but he died. He was on SNL. He had cancer and hid it from everyone he knew. Norm Macdonald.
Oh yes, Norm Macdonald.
He had a really good take. this is back when Jan 6 was first happening. Mm-hmm. He said this is the first protest I've seen where they obey all of the, they stay within the lines, or they're within the roped off areas and all that stuff.
Yeah, they're all calm walking in. What's up, guys? Like, it looked like they're really insurrecting. I mean, dude, they're just trying to do it again. If 9/11 happened during these days, it wouldn't have. It would have been uncovered within days, just like January 6th.
Yeah, exactly.
But they think they can just keep the narrative going that it's going to work. It just doesn't work anymore. I think that's the fall of this empire. That system is just finished.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know, man. I see a lot more people waking up, and it's on all platforms, and it's not just my bubble, because I have different bubbles, and in each one of those bubbles, there are people just saying stuff that you would not have seen a couple of years ago. I think COVID woke up a lot of people.
Well, I want to see where they're at in a year or two, because
they're back to it.
Yeah, because I think it's really easy to go, oh, this was horseshit, and then you just go ahead and accept whatever the next dumbest thing is. Yeah.
I'm with the new thing.
Yeah. But, all right, Adam.
Topher.
I am Topher, great. And I want to thank you all. Hi, Mom, for listening. This has been
funny? Funny. We've had 2 listeners on the podcast, so it's both our moms.
It's both our moms. And thank you for listening to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. You can find us on Twitter.
On Twitter at UAP the podcast. That's the handle.
What's your handle? What's your name?
Oh, I haven't got one yet. I'm just running the UAP one.
Okay. All right, and I don't have one either, but we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you with those. Yeah. So thank you all so much for listening. Check out do we have an Instagram? I don't know.
No, we're only on Twitter, and we're only on Spotify for now. We will be on other platforms, probably by episode 3. I think we need more than one episode for Apple and others. So, but yeah, we'll slowly get on other platforms.
So when you're listening in 2066 and you're looking for, and you're confused as to why we're talking about this, it's because we're just getting started. We're just getting started, baby.
Absolutely.
And go ahead and give us a listen and let us know how we're doing. Please give us some feedback. That would be much appreciated.
Yeah, good or bad, we got thick skin. Lay it on.